Welcome back, my name is Brandon and today we've got a quick MIG welding aluminum repair project. This is what we're working on today. We've got an aluminum bracket that you can see how the welds have broken on that side, bent. We're going to straighten that out. Got some broken welds here. This bracket goes in the back of an SUV and it holds like a storage organizer, so like a drawer that pulls out. This raises those drawers out so that when you open the latch and pull the drawer out, it clears like the little lip where the tailgate hatch would go down. This wasn't there and it just sat on the floor. It wouldn't be able to open. You wouldn't be able to get the box open. So this is going to be a great project to MIG weld aluminum. MIG welding aluminum is an awesome process. If you guys own a regular MIG welder and you have the capability of hooking gas to it, that's what makes it a MIG welder, then you can weld aluminum. All you got to do is change out your liner, put in a Teflon liner, buy some 5.356 wire, and away you go. Piece of cake. I have a video explaining on how to do that, and I'll put a link to it up above. You can convert your welder for around 25 bucks. One of the first things we got to do is we got to get all this broken weld cleaned up all the way around on this tube. That's what we're going to work on now. And to do that, I'm just using a 4.5 inch flap disc. Got our tube all prepped now, so we're good there on both sides. We can set that aside. Now let's work on getting all this damage fixed on this right here. We'll have to bend this around. Probably the best way to do this is just put a pair of adjustable pliers on it. I'll lock it down just so we can put some leverage on it. You can see how this is bent. Should be able to get it fairly straight, I would think. You know, another thing we could do, actually slide it up on the table and just hammer it in place. I think that came out pretty good. Now we just got to do the other side. I got everything all clamped and fixtured up now. You can see how everything's all clean. Right last minute I'm going to go over it with a stainless steel brush. That's what you use to clean aluminum. And you can see again, we're all good here. All our old weld is cleaned off. And anytime you want to check something to make sure that you have it square, because you can see how this is bigger than my fabrication table, all you got to do is measure corner to corner and do it the same way on both sides. So I'll measure this side over here and then just measure it off the corner of that and record that measurement. Then I'll come over here and do the same thing. You got to keep the tape measure straight, so you can see how I've had to like feed it through this clamp. Take that measurement and make sure it's perfect. And if it's not, if your measurement's not the same, just have one side that's pinned down permanent and then change your other one, you know, moving it in or out. You know, moving it out is going to lengthen the measurement. Moving it back that way would shorten it. So now that we know that this is all good, what we got left to do is set up our welder, then brush down our parts last minute and weld it up. We'll do a few test beads just to make sure that our settings are right too. Let's go over machine setup. To weld aluminum, you need to be running pure argon gas. And for this, I'm going to be using my Yes Welder YWM 211P. I really like this machine just because it has a lot of presets. I don't do a lot of aluminum, so I don't really have to think about it because I have my settings that I really like, and then I just go to the setting, click it into memory, and then it's just available when I need it. Then I've got this spool gun. This is also from Yes Welder. This is like $100, and it makes things so much better because then you can run the little bit more desirable 4043 wire, which is a little bit softer. If you were pushing this through like just your regular MIG gun, like you'd use to weld steel, you'd want to use what's called a 5356 wire. It's a little bit heavier and it pushes through the liner a lot easier, but you have to keep that liner really straight so you don't get feeding issues. By having a spool gun, it kind of eliminates all those issues with feeding problems. These have their drawbacks also. I mean, you can't really work overly great in confined tight spaces, but for this works great. And like I said, I'm using 35 thousandths 4043 Blue Demon wire. I really like Blue Demon wire. So we'll open up the front. This is my little cheat sheet so I know which channel to go on. So you can see for channel 1, it's for welding 1/8 inch aluminum with 30 thousandths 5356 wire. Channel 2 is the same, but it's just a little bit hotter. And you can see I got settings for channel 4. That is what we're going to use. So we'll snap it on. Channel 0, and we said what? Channel 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so it's going to load channel 4, you can see it flashing. And here we are with those settings. I'm at 17.9 volts, 102 amps. The mode you can see, I'm over at MIG. I've selected the proper wire size. It's on a double pulse, and I'm on aluminum MIG. And if you want to change the settings at all, up or down, you can just turn this knob a little bit and it'll go, down as a percentage. With our machine set up, I've got a little test piece here. We'll give it a try. This is thicker than 1/8 inch, but that'll be a good test piece. We can try it on that. Aluminum has really toxic fumes, so make sure you're wearing a respirator. I'll have links down below. It's cheap insurance for your lungs. If you're gonna cut corners, don't cut it on aluminum. Make sure you have a respirator, always. And I figured this would also be a great time to show you how a spool gun works. So it takes the little small cartridges, as you can see in here, okay? Like I said, it just bypasses from having to push it all through the whip from the MIG machine. Then in here, it's got its own little drive motor, okay? So when you pull the trigger, it'll spin the motor, which pulls the wire off. I have the motor disengaged right now just so I can purge the line of air. So right now, if I pull the trigger, it's going to turn this wheel, which is going to pull wire off this and push it out the end of the MIG gun. Looks just like a regular MIG gun that you'd weld steel with. But to save wire and from having to push it through, I disengage this, then I pull the trigger and you'll hear the gas come out and you'll see the wheel turn. So I'm just purging this line and getting it filled with argon so I don't have any issues. Now I can engage this, the drive wheel, close it down, and I'm all ready to weld. So when I pull the trigger now, it'll push a piece of wire out. See that? So that's the basic principle of how that works. Pretty simple. Alright, I just tried the second one. Changed it a little bit. Changed the bead profile to make it a little bit thinner than that one, and I'm a lot happier with it. So that's what we're going to weld it with. I have a brush that I designate only for aluminum. So it's a stainless steel brush and I only use it on aluminum. And here it is, all done, guys. I had to grind it just a little bit flush on the top because that's where the box has to sit. Under here it doesn't really matter. And I got it all welded up underneath and it came out pretty good. It's not absolutely perfect, but you know what? It's better than it was, and it's better than it has to be. If this is something that you like, please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. New videos every Friday, and if you're wondering about any of the tools that you see me using, I'll have links down below. Check out my other channel, Motivated 207. I'm always doing stuff over there, especially during the summer. Till next week, guys, I will see you then. Take care, stay safe, and God bless.